happening, everyone? Welcome to Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks Thursday night live feed, 8 p.m. It is March 20th? Yes, March 20th, 2025. And figured out what I'm going to paint tonight. I had no idea. Been a crazy couple weeks. I got a Adepticon coming up next week, so I got a lot of things going on. I finished up that Rose and Skull bagger last week, and that went down to AudioWorks for clear. In polish. I'm picking that up tomorrow, bringing it to the builder so they can assemble it. So that is ready. What else we got going on? Yeah, ready for Adepticon, that. This taxes, getting taxes done. Yep, that's always fun, part of the business. Yeah. Yeah. First day of spring. Yeah, it is first day of spring. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, it is. Let's see who we got in here tonight. We got a few guys here early. We got Darren, Plank, and Bill Douglas. You guys are the first two in. Thanks for popping in early. Brian Moore, Todd, Grigsby, Warlock, what's happening? Robert, Meehan, Grumpy RC, Amos Mendez, Dan Mayer, Mike Cohen. Thank you all for popping in. Make sure you share and like this feed. Mike Manning, what's going on? Let's get this thing going. I want to get these feeds rocking and rolling. We got to grow this channel some more. And with that, I'm going to shout out, thank you to all my Down Dirty Tricksters. Look at all those gold skulls. Dave the Bug Gregory and Russ are the two newest gold members to hit gold. I think Dave might have hit gold the last couple weeks ago. I'm not sure, but I noticed him today. And yeah, and we got some new members as well. W. Ambrose Coddington, Mike XNFN. Okay. Maple's been here for a couple of months. Leon, Brian, you guys been here a few months. Thank you all for sticking with it. And I appreciate the support. Helps this channel grow, keeps it going. Don't forget, you get 25% off at all the stores. Oh, that is the wrong one. That was supposed to be this one. So all you members get 25% off, including all the new downloads and things like that. And we will talk about a quick paint we're going to be using. This is the paint we're going to be using. This is the same paint we did a few weeks ago on the Servo Skull painting. So nothing's changed. Actually, like I say, because I still have it mixed in bottles. And these were strained a few times, so I feel pretty confident. I'll still strain them out of the bottle again just to make sure nothing's settled. Especially with candies. Automotive solvents more than the water-based. A lot of times when you mix up candies in bottles, not all, but if some of the colors seed out a little bit, they'll get dry chunks floating to the bottom. And it's almost like it'll be like a pepper flake in your candy job. So I don't have that issue too much with the water base. With solvent, again, not all colors. I remember House of Color, the one color I always have the issue with, if it was mixed over like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a bottle, was Pagan Gold. Pagan Gold would get dry chunks in it. And so some of the colors do it. So that's the one thing. I've seen some companies pre-mixing candies and pre-reducing for you to airbrush. I would advise against buying that stuff unless you're going to use it right away. If you're going to buy candies, it's not cheap, it's expensive. Buy them in components, mix them yourselves, learn the mix ratios. It's way better off. If you buy a pre-mixed, you don't really know what's going to happen with them. And it's not on the paint company, it's not a bad thing. You just don't know in transit and moving how long it's been sitting, things like that. Mixing isn't that hard. I would definitely just get your own and don't buy pre-mixed base coats and stuff are usually okay. But in the 30 years I've been doing it, the 25 years I've been doing this full time, I've seen candies seed out or get just dry flake in the bottom of a plastic bottle if they're sitting in the bottles too long. And it just might be because there's enough air movement. And if they're full, you might get them, they would be fine, but a week later, a month later, I don't know. I would just buy the components and mix them yourself as you need it. So I would go from there. Let's see. Let's take this down. We got our lovely brands that we all like to use, that I like to use, that support the channel and help out. Not paid sponsorships. These guys don't pay me to put their logos up. A few of them do send me some product to help out the channel and parts and some paint and things like that. So I'm straight up and honest with you. Some stuff I buy, some stuff they send me. But it's a two-way street because I work with them and go back and forth. So just to be upfront honest there. Let's take that off and let's see what we got here. How difficult is the software for Cameo? I'm not that great with computers. The software is not hard. For the basic stuff, Brian, as far as like, if you buy my downloads or you download vectors, free vectors online, you import them, size them, rotate them, cut. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I've seen a lot of guys get confused. They'll bring in what's already a vector, and then they'll hit trace, like they have to trace it to cut it. And that's a mistake a lot of people make because they don't understand that if it's an EPS vector, it's already a vector. You don't need to do that. But I've had guys that have downloaded my files and they've imported the EPS, which is already ready to cut. And then because they've watched some tutorials, they hit the trace cut and trace feature, and they'll get double cut. So that does happen. If it's already vectored, it should be ready to go and straightforward. Designing and drawing your own stuff can get a little cumbersome. Take your time. The Cameo stuff is pretty good from what I've used. I haven't used a ton of it, but it's pretty straightforward. I really got to work on getting some videos or some live classes on different softwares. And now that I know I have some other options other than Adobe, I might try to do some classes in some more freeware. Just because I know Adobe's expensive and not everyone's going to be able to afford to buy it to use it for their first stuff. And I should mess with the Cameo stuff a little bit more. But yeah, it's not too bad. You'll be good. Yeah, if you buy my vectors, or any of the downloads on McKay Fine Art, you get like 7 file types. You get an AI, which is Adobe Illustrator, EPS, which is generic, that usually opens in every program, along with SVG and DXF. Those three, EPS, DXF, SVG, are the 3 most common softwares for cutting software. And those you can import, and they should be ready to go. You shouldn't have to do any added trace features or anything like that to cut it. If you do, you'll get a double cut. But it also comes with PDF, PNG, JPEGs. If you bring a PNG or JPEG in, those you have to trace because they're just an image. So we'll talk about that a little bit because it's different if you use like Photoshop or photo editing software. Those are images based on pixels. Cutting softwares like Cameo, Adobe Illustrator, CorelDRAW, FlexiSign, those all work. Those all are based off paths and nodes. So there's a dot, and then another dot, it's a straight line, and that's what the machine knows to cut. And then the next one is a curve, and curve, and a curve. So there's no pixels on screen, it's all mathematical curves and arcs that tells the machine where to go. Kind of like a CNC. But if you have issues, man, I'm always available, so message me, we'll get you going. Let's talk about what we have tonight. What we're doing. Let's bring up the side-by-side. This is what we got going on. It's a really cool image, huh? So let me show you how I got this image. This is really cool. I put the link in the description. If any of you guys are seeing, there's a website called Tattoo Smart. Tattoo Smart is a site that has tons of brushes and images and flash art and texture packs and encyclopedia of this and that. Everything tattoo related, but skulls, 3-dimensional skulls, everything. But one of the things they had is a set. Let's see if I can get to it here. Let me go on my, let me bring up my iPad and I'm going to show you this really quick. Let's see here. iPad. Switch over. So this is my iPad. So this is Tattoo Smart. Really cool things. They have like flash stamps. They have 3D references, different brushes, models. And it's for tattooing, but a lot of stuff we do on motorcycle and custom paint is the same as tattooing. You know, so you have that same reference material. So really great stuff. So I had gotten, let's see, I'm going to review all. I'll show you this one on their site, then I'll show you how it works. Let's see. Like you said, they just have tons of great stuff. Oh, this one here. I got this one from them, and this is Real Beast. It's 35 bucks. I should really see if I can get affiliate links with them, but I don't have anything right now set up. But you can see they have really cool images and stuff like that, right? So tons of them. And that goes into Procreate. So if you have an iPad, this is the program. I'm going to switch the color to black. And here's the brush sets. So this is the one I used right here. And it's cool because I can like size it around and move it. And that's the one I used. for it. If I didn't like that one, you know, there's just, look at this library. They just have tons. So if I want a different position like this one, I could do that. And they don't just have that, so they have, let me size that around. And then, let me go here. I'm going to add another one. And they have tigers. So they just have a ton of tigers. So say if I wanted to do a tiger one, now I could do a tiger, you know. It's really cool thing. So it's just got tons of different stuff in there. So I definitely recommend that. I recently got an eagle one. And I have just tons and tons of brushes. Let me see, where's the eagle one? These are great for just sketching. This was an old octopus set. You know, and you can change the size. That was just water. See what I mean? Now I can make it bigger. And then you can go to like a regular pen. You don't have to use all these, you know, stamps basically. But you can use that in a sketch, and then I can go to a brush here, fine point, and I can start. Oops, that's not a fine point brush. Let me erase that. You know, then you can go in. I should do one on Procreate. Procreate. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Here's wolf. You can do wolves. So it's a great set. I highly recommend it. But that's where I ended up getting this image. And then I just cropped in and did a quick transfer. Yeah, David, it's great. Oh, we got some super chats. Thank you, guys. I was looking at the iPad. Thank you, Mike Manning. Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about what I did. Now, I usually do the, the pencil transfer. Honey! Thank you very much. Or are you taking this one too? You gotta go back and forth. I'm not gonna tell you. The pencil trick didn't transfer well. The lead wouldn't transfer to the copper, so I had to use Sorel paper, and I ran out of Sorel paper at 4 this afternoon. I ran to Hobby Lobby, and I got there. They don't carry Sorel; they carry their own damn version, which isn't as good as Sorel, but it does work. The black wouldn't transfer because the graphite just won't transfer to the thing. So I used their white, and the white transfer really good. If you notice, when you look straight at it, you really can't see it. From the side, you can. So there's enough reference to just use it. But same method. I just put a piece of transfer, Sorel, and did the ink work. And let me zoom in a little bit there. And I just use an ink pen and pushed it in, and now you can see the image is good enough to work with, and it shouldn't show up. And the most important thing about Sorel or the stuff from Hobby Lobby, because there's two different types. There's a normal graphite one, and then there's a wax-free. If you do an automotive work and you're doing clear and paint work on it, I recommend the wax-free. You don't want the wax one. Solvent paints and a lot of paints do not like wax because they're waxy and the paint will run off of it. And you'll get a delamination. So don't use the wax type. You want to use wax-free. Yeah, Tattoo Smart's great. I put the link in the description, so if you're interested in that or anything other, you can get it. I'm going to do a video soon on this one. Yeah, let me switch over here for a sec back. Check this out. This is one. I'm going to go back into here. Some stuff I've been working on. This is a brush set you can get from them. It's a 3D skull. So how awesome is that for reference? Because then you can copy and paste it to wherever you want. And you can actually, turn on and off like the different mandibles and stuff like that too. If I remember right how to do it. Yeah. So you can like turn that off, and now you can do the inside bottom. Super awesome reference. And then you can go in, and see if I can find it here. I know this is off the topic, but so you go here. Oh, edit lighting. So now I can go in and you can change the lighting and the saturation and explore different lights. See, and like play around with how different lights hit it. This app is just really outstanding. Because now I can let's make this one purple, high saturation, really bright. Let's bring this one over. Let's do that like Excalibur frickin' fantasy lighting. Green. Yep, that's more yellow. We can tone it down. We can go, let's go more blue. See? So, you know, you can do that and get different lighting effects. That saturation's way too high. There we go. Look at that. How cool is that to play around with? So, and they have different things. And you can even, if you're doing a Reaper, check this out. You can go in, and it has, oops, there we go. You can put a hood on it. And it's going to catch the inside lighting. So how cool is that for a reference? So this one I recommend. And the other cool thing you can do is this. I'll show you. I'm going to shut that off. I can go here. Look, I can go on the side of this. And it should be, there's a way to like, you can paint on the skull. There's ways to do it. I think I have to change some setting, but you could do it. So yeah. So see, look, you could draw on the skull. Okay. So it's cool. So a lot you can do with it. So yeah, just playing around. Need to record tutorial on this app. Yeah, I think that the tech tutorials really aren't great live. And those are the ones I got to do, like, scheduled, like, maybe 8 to 10 people in a Zoom call. And you can all see my screen, and we do, like, a half an hour, then a Q&A half an hour to, you know, maybe like a 2-hour session on Adobe Illustrator, and then on programs like this, I think would be a really cool way to do it. So, a lot of guys have been asking for it. A Saturday or a Sunday class, midday, like later afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, like 2 to 5, like between 2 and 5. That way East Coast can get it, and like UK people can get it. So I think that'll be a good time zone to do it, a 2-hour session. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, definitely hit me up and let me know. And let me know what days you think are better, and I'll kind of get a poll. Maybe I'll throw a few polls up and see. And I'll do it, you know, there'll be a price for it, but all you members will get a discount off that as well. And then once I get rolling in it, I'm going to do a members-only section for that as well. So I'm toying with the idea of reducing the amount of live feeds I do weekly, and maybe do a live every week, but 1 week is going to be for members, and the next week will be open, or we'll do separate live feeds for members only, and those will get edited down to videos for people to see later. I got some stuff planned for that too, but I always got a lot of plans. It's getting them done. That's always the issue, though. So let's go here. Okay, like top down, you don't see anything. Okay, but sideways, you do. So you can see the difference. Let's get this a little bit zoomed up. I'll get this one up there. Yeah, good. Everyone see okay? Everyone good? We got 46 in here tonight. Thanks, guys. All right, so the colors I've mixed up for you guys who missed it, and I know this beginning is a little longer than normal before I start painting, but I am recording it, and you can come back to it later. Where is it? Lose my mind. There we go. Paint. So these are the colors we're using, the same as we did a few weeks ago. Jazzy, what's going on? Mike Wagoneer, welcome to the Down Dirty Trickster family. Don't forget, you get, now that you're a member, if you're interested in any vector downloads or things like that, if you go to McKayFineArt.com, all the downloads and vectors are 25% off. So happy shopping. And there's a lot of them there. Like I said, this is the paint list. This is what we used a few weeks ago. Oh, Dave, you gotta go? Sorry, man. Sorry I missed you. Family tonight, so not staying. Dave, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the family time. That's why I wasn't on last week. My wife had ankle surgery, which was planned. Nothing serious happened. It was routine, so that's why I didn't do a feed last week. I wanted to make sure I spent time with her and attention with her until she needed it. Got a little bit, more situated. So she's doing great, and that's why I'm doing the feed this week, which is good. All right. These are the colors we are using. So my color is Espresso Shot and Dirty Penny, and then I did another one that I called Burnt Coffee, which is the Dirty Penny added with transparent black. So basically I have these three colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to start with the Espresso to get all the darks in, and then I'll tone it with the Dirty Penny, and then we'll do some erasing and eradication techniques, and you'll see how that all works. Always room for plenty of mics. Alright, so to start, I'm going to use my Eclipse Takumi, which is Takumi model Eclipse side feed, but the head is the same as any Eclipse airbrush. HPCS, the 0.3, the 0.35 for the BS with PC. Getting my terms mixed up. So this is the color, the nice kind of dirty brown, but this is candy. Yeah, let's get this going. And let's see what we got here. Okay. So you can't really see anything there. So tonight we're going to cover a mix of freehand, and there's always this debate. If you use a stencil, is it freehand? Well, it depends how much you use a stencil. If you just blow the stencil and maybe shade a little bit, walk away, yeah, it's a stencil job. It's not freehand. If you blow a stencil in for registration or some shaping or loose shielding, like I'm going to do tonight, and then you freehand the rest of the night, it's a freehand painting. Now, you can have 100% freehand, but when you use a stencil for a little bit and then you're 90% freehand, you're good. At least that's how I feel. If you don't feel that, if you're differently, don't care. There's times when total freehand is the best result. There's time when loose masking. There's times when you want to sheet tape and draw and hand cut, and then there's times you want to plot and use plotter masks, or mix one of the 2, 3, 4, 5 together. It's your choice how you want to do it. A lot of times it depends on the job and the result you want to look at. So that's why I use a lot of different techniques here. This one we're going to use paper cut. So this is what I've done. I have the printout, and then that's the printout of it. And then I did the transfer, and I'm just going to roll that back. And then what I do is see, if you look at this one, I go into Photoshop and I do what's called posterizing, and this is like a 5 color, so it takes this more photorealistic one. Let me go to top down. You can see them both these. See what it does? It basically blocks things out more simple, and then that gives me to know where all my darks are, so I can do a cut. See? So now I can make like a loose stencil of the major darks. And what I also did is if you do a 2-color variation, you just get a black and white. So you get a simple silhouette, okay? And this I'm just going to use for some of the block out and registration. It's going to keep I'm going to have a nice semi-sharp line. But if I used a plotter, it would be super sharp, almost too sharp. So when I'm doing wildlife and natural things, I don't want it super sharp, so I don't use a plotter. I'll use something like this, and that way, the paint gets a little softer on the edge. So now the problem is I gotta make sure I line it up right with my registration, because I don't want to be off from my lines. The key, whenever you're using pencil lines, you don't want to you want to work within them, because you kind of want to cover them up. So now, see, I have that. Now I know exactly where everything is, and I'm a little off, I can tell. So I'm going to move this up here. So go up just a little bit and over. And here. And go here like this. And there we go. Cool. Mr. Leahy's here. All of a sudden, I'm feeling so dirty. Thank you for popping in, my friend. I loved your St. Patrick's Day feed. You killed it on the skull. It looked great. And your feed was stable and awesome. So that was great. Okay, so I'm going to use that dark, dirty penny. Oh no, this is espresso shot. And on the outer, I'm going to get pretty dark, but I'm not flooding against the edge. See how I'm getting a nice kind of soft edge? And we can get some texture in here, right? Let's use a little Gerald Mendez. I'll get some texture out here. Because I want something to erase to. You know, so that's why I'm going to put the dark, so I can soften the hair. Maybe we'll do a little bit of my swirl, just to get a little motion. But what's nice is, you know, this copper, as you remember from the last piece, really shows through. This is an anodized plate. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these to semi-dark. Okay. So now I got a nice kind of block out of where everything is. Let's go into here. I want to get these a little. I really want to get a nice dark right around. So I'm actually going to go to my burnt coffee, which is the darker one. So I really want this outside to get some contrast rather quick. So this is the same color with just some black mixed in. No, I don't have it yet. I'm still messing with the cut. I think I need to get a different laser cutter. I might enlist the help of Tommy to cut a set for me to get him rolling so I can afford to get a cutter for myself. The problem is so many nooks and crannies and shapes and stuff. So I got to break it down to like 4 different speeds to cut well, and I just haven't had the time. I have them cut that are good. They're good enough to use, but I don't want to sell them like that because you can see like some melty edges and some little burn marks and things like that, and it's just not a great product. So I will get something. Just, you know, I need a team of people, and I just don't have the funds to have a team of people. So you can see now. Let me go to side by side. You can see the 2 different looks of this and how that looks. So you can just see the difference. Now, if I bring a side light in here, you know, I can change the look of it again. And I think what I'm going to actually do, let me see if I can change. No, I can't do it. Oops. Uh-oh. Here we go. I'm just going to leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Alright. Off the darker color. Back to the normal espresso shot. So this is the espresso shot, which is, see, it's this brownish, like, I call it espresso because it's kind of like an espresso coffee. Alright, so, I want up here, which is going to be fur, I want to get rid of that, like, stencily edge, so I can do some erasing. So I'm going to soften that out, but I can also take this off now. And see, I can just kind of come in and just kind of move it around a little bit. Just soften it. Just soften it. Okay. So I'm liking that, and that's going to give me my bearings there. And then what I did is I cut the second stencil, if I can find it. Sorry guys, a little all over the place tonight. There we go, sorry. I cut too many. So this one I cut actually has some smaller shapes that go inside. That's gonna like double duty, so it's gonna get darker. So what I can do now is kind of put that in position right there. And now I can hit it again, and now I can start hitting in here. I don't want to hit too much here because there's going to be a lot of hair. And I did some what's like cacti cutting, which was just a bunch of like little lines. So now I'm going to do, just so you can see the process a little bit better, let's register the ear a little bit more. I need my knife. So I've already cut out like basic ears for that, but let's hit some. Did I do it here? I just didn't paint. I thought I cut these out already. No, I didn't. So I can like basically cut where the ear hair is a little bit more. And just blocking out some shapes. But again, it's just, these are really just for like freehand registration. That's all this is really for. And you'll see how that's going to help. Just a couple little cuts. And we can line that back up. Now I can put a little here. Oops. A little here, a little there, a little here, a little here. And it's just enough to start knowing where things are. And now I can have, get a nice, we'll do a nice side by side. Let's do this. So now I can kind of see where the main stuff is. The main stuff, get it? Main. But I can start coming in. And this is where you can like start to freehand a couple little things. Oh, you know what I want? It's nice to kind of block out. Blades, come on, there we go. For a minute there I felt like a teacher in a romper room. So I can kind of separate this. So look, now I have a couple different things to work with. Now I can come in here and just kind of loosely map out where the key shapes are. See what I mean? It's just enough to really get going. Just finished taking a final exam. Will this be monochromatic? Yeah, it's just going to be in these tones. So it's going to be same as a Servo Skull. It's going to be all in these tones. That way And I have this taped down. I should have just taped it. Yeah, so you're going to have that reflection come through, just like the Servo Skull piece. And that's why it's all on candy. So that's the plan. But now, and I'm going to try something. I haven't done this. So I've done eradication with the erasing sticks, like we've done this. So see these 3 hairs here? So I can come and I can like, you can like scratch these out, right? Which is cool. But I found these are alcohol marker blenders, which should just have alcohol in them. So I should, in fact, be able to just, oh, they work. Get them wet. Look, I can move those around. So you get those nice hairs. I want to get these whiskers. This is the first for me. So now I'm just erasing that candy. And if you don't want to do that, you could always do the scratch, like for finer stuff. You know, and for like fine hairs in here, look, I can do all this. Which works really good. Or we can do the erasing. And what that's going to do is going to make the copper panel itself the brightest spot. It's kind of hard to see, but like let's get this tooth out. If I can smooth that out, see that, and get that tooth nice and smoothed out. So we're going to do a lot of details with this. And here. And then the eraser stick, so you get these nice like highlight areas. As long as you have something to erase from, it's just going to make a really cool piece. And we're going to do a lot for that for the hair once we get enough shade, because I can come in like this and we can make the hair really look cool in the eye. But I got it, you know, it's not dark enough to really do that yet. So this is where we have a Gary bid of 200. Gary bid. Bids. Gary equals 200. G's equals 225. Got it. So before I can do any erasing, I gotta get enough color blocked in. Because if I scratch here, nothing's gonna happen. So you gotta start like, I'm gonna start doing a mix of airbrush lines. I wonder if I can, if I zoom this guy in and focus up on it. There we go. I wish I could get this a little. The aperture's not changing on this one. Just trying to get the ISO to change, but it won't because of the settings, so it's just gonna have to be what it is. Thank you for the bids, guys. I appreciate it. So I can really come in here where I'm going to do erasing, and I can just tone, because this is all going to be erasing up in here. The ear, it's pretty dark when you look at the photo reference. Let me bring up, can I? No, I got the wrong reference image there. Let's do this. Yeah, so you can kind of see, like up in here, it's really dark in the back, so I can afford to like really do a lot back in here. And I'm just not committing to being too dark. Okay, that's really the key, is just start toning things in. The more time you spend here just slowly building, the more flexibility you have to either A, correct mistakes, or B, save yourself. Smash that like button like a pack of Twinkies, yes. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the photo and just blocking out the areas right now. Taking my time, kind of sketching. See what I mean? It's just tone. It's just a little tone. And that white sorrel markings will eventually just kind of disappear as you keep going. But see how fast that already starts to look good. It already starts to come together. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get a different angle on this, because it's just not where I want it. Yeah, just wonder if I angle this down just a little bit more, if I can get it. That's the problem with camera blocking. I just can't get this one. I'm gonna try. This might mess up this camera, but I'm going to try something and see if I can get it to let some more light in. Nope. No, that don't matter. Sorry, I'm just trying some different modes on this camera. I didn't have time to really dial this one in. Unfortunately, for this angle. I wonder if I come down lower. Well, it's a little better, I guess. I just can't. Huh. Yeah, it's just not. It's not doing what I want to do, guys. Sorry. I'm flying to myself here. There we go. Okay. Need a camera guy. Well, it's just going to be what it's. That's as good as I think I can get it. The issue with working on metal. Hey Mike, how's it going? I will try to take a look. I think I saw him pop in, I just didn't have time to look at him. It was right before the feed. Yeah, I could try a line to the right, but I don't have one over there that's visible. Yeah, it's just, once I do this, well, that helps. That's my studio light. It just kills my background light, but that's fine. The head-on shot looks good. Yeah, the lighting, I can't move them very easily. Alright. Let's grab. Thank you for liking and sharing. Appreciate it. I'm going to put the Dirty Penny mix in. That's a little better. Yeah, I could just focus it a little bit. I wonder if I take this out of the way. Yeah. Alright, is what it is. Only so much we can control. I want to paint. Okay, so this is the Dirty Penny. So this is more of an orangey tone. And I want to get this almost everywhere. So when I erase, it erases to the final color. It's a nice way so I can start building a little bit of fur in multiple tones. They're a little softer. That the erasing is really going to come into play. Especially down here. Kind of good among you guys here tonight. Thanks for popping. Don't forget to like, share, and all that stuff. I know we all keep saying it, but kind of part of the YouTube game. Yeah, this is really going to be a very cool piece overall. And I would be able to light from the right. I have a light in the back, and it keeps, that I could do, but it keeps glitching out on me. I think the power supply is bad, and I tried the battery, and the battery wasn't working either, so I think the light's just going. So in here is like almost just black. But I'm not using black, I'm just using the darkest version of this candy. And that's going to help start to get rid of it just starts to come together. So hope everyone's having a great first day of spring. Didn't really feel too springy here. Still pretty damn cold. So I'm just going to do a couple little fine lines here and there. Just to start, and the nice thing about where I'm doing them, it's where the white sorrel is, so I'm trying to make sure I cover that up so it doesn't come back. To bite me in the butt later. The UK was lovely and warm today. Well, very nice. Oh, that's very nice. There's Monty Python. Yeah, this was the actual snow there today. Oh yeah, we're gonna, we're actually gonna get a little bit. I think just the higher elevations are gonna get some over the weekend and a Monday, but we're pretty much done in this area. Anything that would happen wouldn't last a minute because the ground's already starting to get warm. Because we've had enough 56-degree days. All the ice is melted off my pool, which is now just a matter of time before we get to open that baby up. Still won't be swimmable for a while. But man, I just like to get it open as soon as possible and just see the water, as opposed to seeing just a cover. South Carolina, yep. Definitely got some better weather there. I'm actually going to be coming, I think it's south of North Carolina. I think it's going to be kind of near the border of both, so I'm going to be doing an offshore racing boat down that way in the near future. I got to find out where it is. I got to find out if anyone's in the area has a plotter, so I don't have to fly with mine or ship one down, because we're going to need one on site. Karis, you're still in Jersey, right? Gonna focus on getting that black right around the eye. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on. Yeah, so when I zoom in, it's hard for the camera. Here we go, that's good. That looks good. But even though that looks black, the light is still gonna go through it. Whoa! See what I mean? It's gonna... Yeah, see when that camera sees it, this one was dark. But you can just see how that's gonna be just a great painting. Kind of missed... Oh yeah. I barbecue all winter too. We keep it out. All right, let's do this. I want to get cut out some locations. Now I could just freehand these in, or I could Sorel transform, but we're just gonna cut these out rough. I'm just gonna pick them. This is a great technique that I learned from Corey St. Clair. That was the cactus cutting I did up here. You just kind of pick away at it, and you'll end up getting your holes that'll go through. And when you paint, it won't look like a cut stencil. And then here, what do I want to do? I kind of want to go right here, here. Now I can do this tongue. Watch this. So I can kind of come in here now. I can do a couple more things. I know this is going to be dark. And just getting registration. And these are just good tips for you guys, especially if you have trouble drawing the stuff or eyeballing it. And your proportions, this is just going to help you get those proportions where you need to be. So then you can just freehand away and have some fun. That's really what this technique is about. The paper cut. That does mess up the blade a little bit. You use a good cutting mat. So usually I do all my smooth cuts, and then I do all my cactus cut. Dude, I go through a box of blades a month. You know, I buy one of these every month and a half. I go through at least 50 to 100 blades a month. I'm hard at them. I don't want them really sharp when I want them sharp, and then I beat the crap out of them when I need to beat the crap out of them. I want to get this. I think this print might be a slightly... really didn't line up as well as it should have. There we go. That's good. And do that. So get those darks. So get that. So that put those little dots right there. So that's good. And then I'm going to grab the tongue here, like this, right? And now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to hit those. Now I know where the tongue is better. And what I did is I didn't really get that tooth position right. So what I'm going to do is find it like that. And now I can correct it. I can erase it. Honey, you should have, if you didn't get it today, you should get it tomorrow. The Rose and Skull one is on its way. So just keep an eye out for that. There we go, start to get those. Just starting to get everything where I want it. Just little bits here and there. See, so now I know where that tooth line's supposed to be. All these little bits and bobs, bits and bobs. Honey does some killer drawings. And you can see all the work over the years has paid off because every time they get better and better. And that's the only way you can improve, guys. Honey's definitely worked at it. And it pays off. Okay, I really want to get these. I get these teeth in the right place because these bottom ones are really important to me. So I'm cutting more than I normally do, but because I'm on metal and I'm using the metal, I don't have anywhere to like kind of cover things back up. You can't cover anything and like fix it because I can't over cover it. So I gotta, you know. The delinquency, what's going on, man? Welcome. So I really want to just get this. There we go. I want these teeth and I want to know where these are because I can't do. I'm not going back in with white. I'm doing erasing. The registration is really important for all this stuff. Because you really got to know where everything is. If you don't, it's really hard. Well, this first, I've never done an animal on bare metal like this, and I don't do a lot of wildlife, or I've only done a handful this year. We've done some birds, and we did the crows a couple times, different versions of that. So I gotta get this here. This is the leg right here. What's coming up. This is really gonna get dark in here. No, this is candies actually. You could do this with illustrations as well, but the candies have a different glow about them, which is the reason I like to use them, because I'm relying on keeping that metal to come through. But if you don't have it, you could do illustration colors. Just reduce them down. I would add a lot more. I would add a lot more 4050 to them, or some 4004 even, to make them more transparent. So you get that. My goal is to get the metal to really come through this. Did I? I don't know. I did the rhino. I've never done a hippo. I don't remember. I've done the scary rabbit and stuff like that as well, but. So we're definitely going to start doing some erasing now. The week Yorick passed away, I was thinking about doing an animal, or like one of his pieces to just kind of tribute. And then I just couldn't get to that feed, so this is as close to it as I'm going to get. $4021 is reducer, so you can use a reducer, but if you want to make more transparent, you can use reducer to a point, but if you use too much reducer, then it's just going to be not enough paint and binder, and it's just going to blow all over the place. So if you want to make a color more transparent, but not overly thin so it blows out on you, add either more of the 4030, 4050, or 4004, and you'll make the parent more transparent, but not thinner. Thinning the paint is better for flow. More transparency is better for... more transparency will let you build in layers. Because if you keep adding a reducer, you just eventually going to just have too much reducer. That took me a long time to learn that. Because in automotive, we just kept adding thinner and reducer, and like cross color, we keep adding RU311. And then eventually the paint would be so thin it would blow out, or you'd clear it and the clear would actually reactivate and you'd lose some of your artwork because it would just disappear. So if you change the transparency, it gives you better control. And then you can keep adding more reducer for different flow, but like I said, I try not to add too much. We had something special. What are you saying? Rob, you cheating bastard. But 4021 is my favorite reducer. And the candies, I don't have any in here right now. The 4021. Just because it's really not needed. I can make it a little thinner. But the flow is going just fine. So I don't want to reduce too much. Yep. Over-reducing will change transparency. But sometimes it's at a cost of the paint's too thin. It'll blow out. You'll start losing control of it. We might have a troll. Okay. We do get them from time to time, so good. Yeah, I gotta start doing the add a page moderator at some point. I like how Steve does it. The members can randomly be a moderator. If you guys like that idea, I'll start doing that as well. You know, when I had my daughter here, it was easy because my daughter would handle it. And I thought about having her come, like, while she's at college, because she can just log in and moderate. But she's got so much going on in school, I don't want to bug her. Oh, cool. Yeah, for a while we were having some porn issue people popping in now and again. But that seemed to have slowed down. I think YouTube put a squash on a lot of those. Just doing some fur. Yeah, the middle of the feed when they keep flashing just big posts of words of girls, 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 come see live naked girls, 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 over and over and over again. Yeah, that's not good for the feed. It's good for going places after the feed if that's what you want. Yeah, they would just come in and just spam. They would just like spam with text and like hearts and like just it was really annoying. And that is why they don't allow, when you're doing live feeds, for people to post and share memes and pictures, because you could imagine what would be coming through. It'd be like the old chat room days, like the old AOL, when I'm going to date myself here, web TV. Let's try to get this kind of ear area blocked in. So this is one of those paintings. I'm going to be done with this tonight as far as done. And you can just add and add forever on a painting like this. think it was way too high here. Oh, I had you well. Yeah, I want to get 100 likes on this before the feed drops off. Definitely share. Share, share, share. Sharing and comments, and come back afterwards and rewatch it, do some comments. That really helps me a lot. The issue with live feeds is, and I've been hesitant, they keep wanting to put the ads on, which putting the ads on helps me a lot if I leave them on during the feed. If you have YouTube Premium, you won't see the ads, but if you don't, you will. And I'm keeping them at bay as long as I can, but it's getting harder to keep them at bay. Basically, they want you to have YouTube Premium, which I think YouTube Premium is probably one of the best things to get for streaming. I've watched so much on YouTube that I love having YouTube Premium, and they do have videos and music and stuff like that. I pretty much got rid of a lot of my other streaming because of it. And I never get commercials on anyone's feed or any videos I watch, so that's very nice. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, so what time we got? 9:19. Just to refresh, we do have a bid on this of $225 from Cheese and Grits. Unless I missed a bid. Calvin Jones happening. Oh, I gotta get under here. So for those just joining, this is on a piece of anodized aluminum. It's aluminum anodized with a copper. So all that copper is going to show through the candy, and when I clear it, it's going to look phenomenal, like the Servo Skull Warhammer piece from a few weeks back. That's kind of where we're at. Yeah, I got to do another flame skull. I got so many videos planned to do. It's just getting to them and working. Right now, I got spring's coming, so what do I got? That white bike is done. That's getting dropped off tomorrow to the builder. Then after it gets assembled, we'll get pictures of that. I got a trike in that's getting a Planet of the Apes, bunch of murals on the back of it, so that's going to be a cool one. And then we're supposed to go do like a 65-foot offshore racing boat with American flags and Second Amendment stuff on it. That's going to be down North South Carolina somewhere. The boat's being worked on now. So most of this here, like all this is going to be erasing the scratch for the hair. Because the hair is pure white in here. So wherever it's that pure white, that's going to be the erasing and the scratching. So that's going to bring up the brass, which we're going to start doing. And I am going to do some eradication. So let's try a little bit of that. A couple feeds ago, we talked about multiple ways to eradication. And I tried something new tonight, which is an alcohol marker, which actually worked really good to bring out. Look, I'm going to try it right here. They do get saturated, but it does bring out a nice bright highlight. Or we can use the eraser stick, like one of these, which is nice because they do scratch a little bit, but the softer ones do blend. And I don't have, I needed my pink one, I couldn't find it earlier. And there's so many different types. But we can do these. We'll use the eraser, which this is the battery powered one from Medea. I really want to get this eye. So see how much brighter that pops now? These same techniques will work to a degree. You're probably going to want a harder eraser. These will work as well because they're really stiff. You just kind of have to try a few things, and if you gessoed your canvas, you'll probably get a much better result if you didn't just paint over the nap itself. But see how that just, you know, highlights? And you can just keep going. I wish I don't have any of, was it the number 9s, the rounded razor blades? They actually do a much nicer job for taking wide swipes on the stuff than these. These are almost too fine. But I can start with these. You see how that just slowly brightens up. And again, this is one of those, how much am I making? How many hours do I want to spend on this piece? Am I going to spend an hour doing this? Am I going to spend 4 hours? See how that just, how much that popped out? Watch, I'm going to hit this area and just kind of work on the frame. And you'll see how much that just pops this whole piece out. Like I said, these are kind of scratchy. Now I can go through like this, and you can kind of soften them up. I think I'm a little wider. But just see, it starts to rim light everything. I can also do... I'm going to try some isopropyl alcohol push. So this is just straight 70% isopropyl. This will like really push. Eradicate as it kind of softens the candy. So just slightly going in. But it doesn't fully eradicate, it actually pushes it to the side, so you got to be careful when you're using this. Let's see if I can get in. Because it kind of pushes the paint, around, so you actually get a little kind of dark rim around it that it pushes, which is really cool in the right circumstances. Really good for fur, zombies, goo, things like that. It just adds some really nice stuff to it. And this, the only issue with candies in 40/50 is it gets really sticky. So someone asked earlier if I was using illustration colors. If I was using illustration colors, I could actually do a better erase because it stays softer longer than everything else. But the trade-off is it isn't as translucent. It's transparent, but candies are translucent, and there is a difference. But you can just see all these like they're scratchy. So I can take this now, I can kind of blend them together and push them to stop looking scratchy and it'll start looking more even. And I could just sit here for hours and do this and really brighten this whole area up. I don't think I'll be doing a Monday wrap-up of this painting because I don't really think it needs it. Oh, this is the Createx Candy 2.0 is what I've been using this whole painting. Just those few colors. Actually, these are the colors we're using for those who need to know. These are the colors we're using. I'm just going to go around and I'm just doing little like dots. It's just simulating the fur. Pushing that paint around. This is just isopropyl. Pushing the paint. And I can soften that up later if I want. But it's really giving that dynamic glow. it's really starting to... This is where, again, this is that fun stage. Light going. Thank you, sir. We are at 275 for a bid. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I learned this technique. Hildy, if I'm not saying it right, I'm sorry. Yeah, I learned the eradication technique. Has been around for a long time, using eraser sticks, things like that, and the electric erasers, you know, for doing grit and texture. And then I was with Corey St. Clair. We were doing an event, and he started doing it and started showing it to me. I'm like, Jesus. And we were doing a lacquer thinner because we were using solvents, House of Color at the time. And I'd never seen it. And then I just started using it like crazy. I did, if you look at my website, there's the Walking Dead bagger we did years ago. That was around the time I learned it. And almost all the goo, like the zombie goo or blood, is done, you know, with thinner through an airbrush and pushing the paint around while it's wet. You know, you look at like photorealism airbrushing by Drew and all the scratching and erasing for the hair and blending. It's just such a great technique and avoids that blue shift. But you can just see how this is starting to just wake up. And I'm trying to get this, you know, it's just going to get that nice, really cool effect. And if I don't finish this tonight, you know, the bids are good enough where I'll definitely do some more work. Or maybe I will finish it off on a Monday. Who knows? I do have Adepticon next week. So that's going to take up most of my time. I'm going out Wednesday for that. And then I'm teaching, I think, Thursday. And then I think Friday I'm teaching at Adepticon. Anyone here going to Adepticon? Anyone into tabletop gaming and such? If you are, I'll be there all week. Really excited because I've never been to Adepticon. I've definitely never been. The only cons I've done is as a spectator. So it'll be cool to go to one and work it and hang out and do some of the meet and greets. Alright, let's go back. Really want to get this area. Hit that D20, right? Yeah, so I'm going to be teaching a few seminars at Adepticon. And then I'll have plenty of time to walk around and check it out. But if you haven't messed with this, do not do this technique for the first time on a piece you really care about. It definitely takes a little bit of feel for how much you can push it. Different colors react differently to it. Some colors actually can change color when you add this much isopropyl to it. Like if it's got a certain dye, like if a paint a mix of dye and pigment, sometimes this can reactivate the dye or the ink and make it bleed into the pigment and have like a pink edge or a weird color edge. It definitely don't just randomly try it on something. Give it a little, give it a test. But the cool thing about this is now I can go back in and I can take this, I can re-airbrush over it, right, and kind of tone that in so I can get that nice cat's eye. And then I can go in for the kill shot and do the best part about an eye is that little gleam. See, now you get that nice crazy eye. I was actually going to try, and this could be risky, maybe I'll do it. I was going to try one of these water blend, and I love these. Oh, use the same technique with the charcoal. Yeah, and honestly, that's where like this technique, the erasing technique, really came from charcoal artists and a lot of illustrators. Oh, that is, I thought this was the water one. Good thing I didn't use it. You know, came from like fine art illustrators using scratching and erasing and things like that. Automotive, we definitely did not come up with it, but we definitely adopted it down the road. Now, I was going to try... Oh, yeah, here we go. One of these are those water, like, brushes. So if you got, like, watercolor, these can reactivate and move them. I'm gonna put some isopropyl in here. Well, you can use reducer. I'm going to fill this with isopropyl and try it out. Yeah, not me. I just use everyone else. Ah, yes. Oh yeah, I'll probably pop over there. So I can just try this over here and see. I don't think this is strong enough to do much. Nah. No, not strong enough. I don't think, let's see. No, it just kind of gets it moist and... Yeah. Nope. Now, the only thing at this stage, you gotta start being really careful as where you touch stuff, because you can start scratching everything at this point. Wooden sticks would probably work really good here too. Yeah, probably a stiffer brush would work. I know when Drew does some of the photorealism, he uses like just a nice sharpened wooden stick, and that works really good. If I had the wider, the number 9 razor blades, I could get some wider cuts, and maybe when I finish this off, I'll do that. Because the number 11s are just almost too sharp. But if you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are like rounded like this, you know, that style, when they have this shape, they're great for doing like wide. I just don't have any that I know of. That's all right. We'll do the fine ones. Just to do that. Oh, that'd be cool, doing one at a winery. Yeah. You can get some good money clients at those places, too. definitely bring some fine art. And the trick I've learned from artists, but never done it too much myself, and I should do more of it, is those people love a good story behind your work and why you do things. That's what they thrive on buying. The curve blade is it's a 10? Okay. Yeah, I gotta grab some, because when me and Rhino did like the American flag stuff, and we did like the stitch, for the stars, we made all the stars look like they were stitched. That blade just worked so much nicer. But you can already tell this is going to look really cool. This is one of those pieces you could do for a couple $100 like I'm doing now, or spend weeks on it, and if you have the right artist and the right story, you can get $10,000 for it. Like if this was done by Wayland or Dennis or someone with a big following to its completion, it would be endless the amount you can get for it. If you got stores of Planley, yeah, you're good. Come up with a couple dozen watercolors. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna start a painting for my wife soon, and I hate watercolors, but I think I'm gonna do a mix of airbrush and brushwork for the background because it's gonna be underwater theme. So I definitely got to do some experimenting with like traditional watercolor and let it kind of bleed together just to get a really cool look. But yeah, when you do the winery stuff, keep us all posted. If anyone needs to find me on my socials, the socials all right here. TikTok I don't use much, I post a little bit. Twitch I'm going to start doing a little bit. And that's going to be more for my Warhammer and tabletop stuff, I think. But if you need to message me to get a hold of me for anything, send artwork, Facebook and Instagram. What time are we at here? Quarter up. We got a current bid. Yeah. And definitely different directions and thick to thin. And when building it with paint, yeah, definitely different directions. And, you know, I'm not the best at fur and hair, but I know some of the good techniques. And it's just a matter of, you know, blocking things in and getting it loose and tightening up. And when, like I'm doing the Planet of the Apes one in a few weeks. Yeah, like that guy, I gave him a couple different price ranges, and it really came down to, and it's going to be monochromatic in blue tones because of the bike's blue. Maybe a splash of color here and there. But the pricing came down to how realistic do you want the fur in the face? Because I can spend 2 hours on a face, I can spend 4, I can spend 8. It just comes down to time and money, unfortunately. Oh man, yeah, you look at Ulrich's work, and you know I still kick myself for not going to his. He offered me a couple private sessions when he was in Arizona, and I didn't go. And I really wish I did. I had one of those old VHS tapes. I gotta find my VCR and see if I can get it working. Cause I got his Tiger one. See these little ones I'm going to erase here? It's going to make it look a little wet under here. Oh yeah. And this is all acrylic. This is all acrylic candy. It's water-based from Createx. My go-to is either Createx when I'm using water-based like this, you know, acrylics, or I use house color urethane. And that's usually for the motorcycles and cars. And I do some Createx on those as well, or I do a mix. I know I got a VCR somewhere, I just don't have it hooked up. I think for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much done. I think what I'll do is I'll do the big whiskers here, and we'll call it a night. And then we'll freeze the bit at wherever it is for the final. See, just those little bits. I could spend forever here. But the one thing about erasing and eradication techniques, you have to do it all, get it all done before you clear it. You can't do a clear stage and then go back to it. You gotta get it all done in that one shot. Oh yeah, Misty overlays are great. Like, I had a friend of mine, he was a fantasy painter, did a lot of like book cover, Dungeons & Dragons stuff, and he hated the airbrush. But yeah, he would use it for background, smoke, fog, lightning, specular highlight glows. It's a great tool for an acrylic painter, especially. And that's kind of what I'm doing in the mini tabletop gaming space, is just, it's used quite a bit in it, but it's underused in a lot of cases, because a lot of people just don't have the experience with it. So I'm going through and teaching those basics. Yeah, I'm going to get some number 10 blades tomorrow and finish this up. Maybe I'll record it. And we'll put a wrap-up video, or I'll do something next week before I go to Adepticon. So there will not be a live feed next Thursday. Because I will be teaching that day at Adepticon. And so I will not be able to do a feed. But I will try to post some pictures and maybe do some stuff from there. All I can. Oh, Gary is in for 3. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's give you a big... There we go. This will go next to that Servo Skull painting. Alright, so what I'm going to do... Now, I'm going to take this eraser. And now I got to look at my reference. I'm going to do... You know what I'm going to do? I think these worked really good on the fur, so I'm going to do it again. Oh, might goes at 325. Thank you, Warlock, for keeping that. So let's, it looks like if I do it once or twice, it kind of saturates. Yeah. I kind of get a chance. I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. I wasn't talking to you. So you can kind of you saturate it and get it a little wet. No comments from the gallery, please. And then you keep working it, and then you kind of get what you want right there. And like I said, this is just an alcohol marker. I was at Hobby Lobby picking up the Sorel, and I saw this alcohol marker, and I'm like, oh, these could work. And they really are kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to let, since Warlock's in, I'm going to keep going, and he can keep monitoring the bid, because I keep looking up. The paint does kind of clog these tips, though. So these are a great solution. So these will pretty much be dead afterwards. But I think if I use a oh yeah, I forgot Joann's going out of business. Shots fired. And both these guys, Mike and Gary, know that I'm going to put a little time into this and make it really awesome. Afterwards, this one I think will definitely get at least another hour before I clear it. Because I want to work the hair here quite a bit. And that's going to be really boring to watch on the feed, so. But it's such a cool, like. So, like, watch here. I'm going to hit this. And we'll wrap it up. And you'll see, like, that edge just start to glow. Yeah, it starts to look really cool. Okay, we are down to the 3-minute. Yeah, we usually do 20 or 25 increments. 20 is cool. 5 start to get... I don't want to start doing dollar bids and just to do overtake sniping. I don't want to do that. Okay, Mike answered back. This is actually turning into one of my favorite, feeds. I might have to do a whole series of paintings. I need to get some actual, like, copper, because this is the anodized copper. I want to do But copper panel plates this big get really expensive really fast. You missed a lot of erasing and scratching. Yeah, once I do all the hair in there, this piece is going to look really cool. I love this little glow right here. And just remember, you guys know it's like it's a $20 ship. Unless you're in Canada. If you're in Canada, shipping's like getting up to like 35 to 40 now. I think the last thing I shipped to Canada cost me like $35 after boxing. Yeah, so what Gerald's doing is like what I got a few paintings like that I did in the past. But they're grinding the aluminum first into the design, and then they're doing candy over, which is really cool. And you can actually do you can do the grind, then candy, and then do this after to expose. So there's lots of different ways to do it. Gary, thank you very much for the bids. Mike, it looks like you are the high bidder because it is 10 o'clock and I'm not going to take any more bids from anyone else. So it's between you two. So Mike, just hit me up after the feed. Now I have to get a part-time job. Yeah, you're basically supporting my Adepticon habit for next week. But I appreciate that. I knew this was going to be a good one. And I really just love the way it came out. We'll warm this down a little bit. We'll do some more erasing. Do some scratching. I'll post some pitch. Final bid. Yep, 400, Mike Cohen. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Gary, for your bids. Thank you for everyone else. Thank you, Cheese. It's always fun to have multiple people in on it. I think I'll scratch board my signature into it. Oh yeah, cleared, it's going to look great. Let me give you guys just I'll pick this up and show you some of the shine. Erase out here, there we go. Alright. Thanks, man. So, we'll zoom this one way out so you can really see, I think actually. So this camera really shows it well. You'll see that moving around. And once I get all the hair in here to equal out like this, so I want this brightness and all this here to do here. And that's pretty much all that's left. So it's probably another hour, half an hour, 40 minutes on it, then maybe a couple little extra darks. And this will go. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight's live feed. Thanks for bearing with me last week when I was off. Remember, no feed next Thursday. If things wrap up and I start doing well Monday, maybe I'll do a Monday night feed after Steve's. And then I'll be back after Adepticon, and we got a bunch of stuff planned for that. So thank you everyone for checking out tonight. Mike Cohen, thank you for the final bid. Hit me up after. We'll get you settled on that, and then I'll get this cleared. I'll work on it. I'll probably clear it next week before I leave, and then I'll clear it and polish it the week after, and then ship it out. Most likely what we're looking at. So, everyone have an awesome weekend. Be safe, be happy. Thanks for checking out the feed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, save, all that stuff. And catch you on the next video.